Good morning, Romeo Santiago here once again. So, this is unscripted, and quite honestly, this was something I'm in the middle of cleaning my apartment. For folks who don't know, I live in South America. I live in Colombia, and typically Sundays are when Latin mothers typically will clean, do laundry, do all the stuff. But as I'm cleaning and doing laundry and forgive me because I'm sweating because it's hot here in Santa Marta. As I'm cleaning and doing laundry and taking care of my cats and washing their water bowl and everything, I'm jamming to my various playlists. And I realized, like, during this particular series, right, we just talk about suicide as though it's this really sad thing. And so this is specifically for my folks who are survivors or who have contemplated, who have thought about, who've experienced, who had that opportunity that most folks don't get. So let me be very, very clear. This isn't a call to action to come up with a plan or anything of that nature. I want to be very clear. This isn't about promoting completion, right? This is about, for my folks who have come that close, right? Normally, like when we're planning, when we're preparing, when we're getting ready for that moment, that the day before is like this day of just celebration. It's a clarity, it's a peace, it's this release that most people will never get the opportunity. So if you ask a lot of folks who have had near-death experiences, right? Let's take suicide off the table for a moment. When you talk to folks who have near-death experience, they'll tell you that things are clearer, things are brighter, things are more beautiful. Things are, like, we look at the world in a very, very different way. And so let's bring suicide back into this picture, right? So the first time that I had attempted, right, when I was 6 years old, like, I had no understanding of death. A couple years later, right, there was this mad attempt to just end it. A few years later, there was more of this understanding of really what death meant and how do I want to leave this world. And it was all about the dramatics and all that fun stuff. And then my most recent experience, right, when we're talking about the existential crisis, my most recent experience, I did something that most people who thought when Y2K was happening, and I know I'm dating myself, Y2K was happening, folks splurged on their credit cards. Folks like just went balls to the wall. And then when, it wasn't Nostradamus, but when some other religious figure kind of said that the world was going to end and everybody just made a mad dash to just take out all these loans and all these debts and all this stuff. So I asked myself, what do I want my last day to be? And so I'm a whiskey man. Whiskey's my shit. I don't smoke weed. I don't really do a lot of the other stuff. But I knew I wanted the most expensive whiskey that was available in Santa Marta, Colombia. And so I ordered the most whiskey, or the most expensive whiskey that I could find. And I was like, what do I want my last meal to be? Like, Oz has been one of my favorite TV shows, and when they reintroduced the death penalty and they started talking about death row, there was this one episode where this guy ordered, what was it? He called them mountain oysters, which are just bull testicles. And I was like, it would be really nice to at least try that before, I go. But I was like, no, I don't want to try something new before I go. Like, what do I want? And it surprised me. It was like, the only thing I want is cazuela de frijol. Like, it's this Colombian dish. It's got beans. It's got chicha, pork. It's got aguacate. How do you say aguacate? Avocado. See, this is the issue with learning a second language at an older time in your life, is because you forget the English words for certain things. So, maíz, corn. So it's got corn, pork, beans, and a bunch of other stuff, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. But here on the coast, in Antioquia, in like Medellin and different parts of more inland, cazuela de frijol is very popular. But here in Santa Marta on the coast is cazuela de mariscos. It's like a seafood, and it's like more of a soup, and it's like, I don't want that. So I decided I was going to order, don't judge me on this, I ordered KFC. I ordered a chicken sandwich. I ordered a bottle of 15-year-old whiskey. And music has always been an important part of my life. Like, when I do finally release my memoirs, the name of the book is going to be Follow the Music. And every song, every artist has played a very important role in my life, in surviving and overcoming and finding myself. And so I put on an artist that was one of, now I will say, Anita Baker is my number one. I don't know her personally. I've heard rumors about her, but her music is phenomenal. She will always be my number one artist. But I put on this other artist. And again, I want to say that this is not about promoting completion of suicide, creating a plan, or anything of that nature. What this is about is Anastasia played a very important role in my life. Again, never met her, don't know her, but her music. Her album Paid My Dues is one of the albums that got me through a very, very difficult breakup. And this was about the same time that I stopped using crystal meth. So her album really helped me to get sober. Her album helped me to navigate through not just a breakup, but a significant amount of changes in my life. And because she was so tied to so many things that I had overcome. I hadn't listened to her since 2000. I got sober in 2012. So I don't think I really listened to her since around 2014-15. I decided I was going to look her up. And a couple years before my last attempt, she had this song. And I knew from the moment I heard it, like, this was my goodbye song. Now, art is an amazing thing. I want to be very clear. Some of the most beautiful aspects of art come from our own vulnerability. I don't know what Anastasia's reason or purpose for creating this particular song was. But this felt, when I finally do exit this earth, when I finally do leave all of this behind, this is the only song I want playing in my head. And I know that sounds really fucking morbid, but this song was beautiful, right? The song is called Lifeline. And whenever I think about these particular lyrics, like, it really, really hits me. This song was beautiful in so many ways. And so, as I'm cleaning my apartment and I'm listening to Mary J. Blige and Pink and Thalia and Anita Baker, and for all my black and Latin folks out there, you know, when we're cleaning, like, we got, for my black folks, we got Earth, Wind and Fire, we got Big Luther, we got Luther playing, we got Anita Baker, we got the 60s, 70s, 80s soul, right? For me, I also throw in some 50s and 60s, like Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. Frankie Lyman is great, but the Teenagers was just set it up. And so as I'm cleaning, I got my Latin and my black mix going. And so, música de la plancha, right? So I got I got my vallenato, I got my salsa, I got my merengue, I got my pop, I got my playlist. And one thing about art is this beautiful creation that at least from my experience, my perspective, it comes from a place of pure vulnerability. When Anita Baker hits those high notes, when Toni Braxton hits those high notes, when Luther, when folks hit those high notes, it's not just beautiful, like, we can feel the emotion. That's one of the beautiful things about art, is that vulnerability just pours through. And so this particular series has really been about understanding suicide and understanding more the theory behind it. But fuck the theory. When you know, when you have planned, when you have every intention of carrying out, when you understand what mortality really, truly means, there's this, at least for me, there's this piece. I didn't throw this extravagant party. I didn't do anything. I sat in my apartment with my cats. I sipped my whiskey. I ate my KFC. As I sat on the balcony and I smoked my cigarettes, like, I watched the sunset. I looked over the city of Santa Marta. I wasn't thinking that I was going to miss anything. I was in the moment, in the absolute beauty and awe. I wasn't having second thoughts. Like, I knew what was coming. I was prepared for it. I was ready for it. On the same page. I have this playlist in the background. And why I bring this up, why I decided I was going to stop cleaning and pause my playlist and take some time to make this particular video, is because if you're like me, there's some form of art that brings you a level of peace. There's something that has been with you this entire time. Not necessarily something that you don't want to let go of, or it's something that is near and dear to you. Growing up in group homes and foster homes, I had a radio. And some cassettes. And every time I heard a song that really, really touched me, I waited for the next time. Like, I knew what that initial couple of chords were. I still remember when I knew I needed Mama, I'm Coming Home on my tapes. As soon as I heard that initial couple of chords, I grabbed the first available tape. I stuffed the tissue in the sides, I put it in, and I just recorded. I didn't care what I was recording over. I needed that song. When I heard my future ex-wife, Miranda Lambert, Mama's Broken Heart. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Mama's Broken Heart. I knew I needed that song. Like, music has been that thing for me that nothing else can replace. Since I was a kid, I had playlists for different things. If you grew up back when CDs became a thing, you know that everybody and their mama was making their very own, even before CDs. We were making our own mixtapes. Those mixtapes became mixed CDs. Those mixed CDs, when iPods came available and all that, those became playlists, right? Music has always been a way for me to express, for me to find out that other people are experiencing something very, very similar. The first time I heard Anita Baker's Fairy Tales, she starts off by saying, I remember stories, those things my mother said, right? She talks about fairy tales, and towards the end of the song, she talks about how fairy tales are not real. They always promise me my happily ever after, and I realize that that's never going to come true. Miranda Lambert's Gunpowder and Lead, right? This asshole tried to hurt me in some of the most horrendous ways. And when he gets released from prison, when he walks through that door, one of us is not going to be here anymore. Miranda Lambert's Kerosene. You done did me so wrong, I'm going to erase you from the entire history. Not just you, but you, your family, and your hometown. I'm just going to erase from existence. Then there was Frankie Lyman, who sung about love in a way that I could never understand. At that time, I could never understand. Why Do Fools Fall in Love was one of the most amazing songs that I had ever heard. Pink. She helped me to survive some of the most horrendous experiences of my life. Earth, Wind and Fire, Journey, like the list goes on. So suicide wasn't any different. I had my playlist. I had my playlist of, I have experienced some of the most amazing things that I could ever have imagined, ever dreamt of. And as I depart this world, I'm departing in a way that's representative of how music has saved my life. So for folks who have attempted, come close, planned, if it's not music, it's something, some art form, something that means so much to you. Why I bring all of this up is because I want to share my pain. I want to share my joy. I want to share my breakups. I want to share my two cats. This is Lily and this is James. And if anybody has any question on where Lily and James really came from, just take a look at the tattoo and you'll really understand why. But despite his parents, this Lily and James do not get along. So, I want to share all of that. And so, this is a call to action. This is a call to action to share your playlist. Share your playlist of survival, share your playlist of pain, share your playlist of whatever. So, I use YouTube Music. And that only just started because my subscription with Pandora does not offer international services. So I lost all my music on Pandora. But I do have quite a few playlists. This playlist, Libre y Contento. That's my English and Spanish playlist. It's free. I'm free and I'm complete. That's my playlist for cleaning. That's my playlist for reminding myself of how amazing I am after several breakups, after a divorce, after everything. I have another playlist that I'm currently working on. Te quiero gonorrea. And this is like fuck you. But a lot more powerful. That I'm currently working on. But I have my Miranda Lambert playlist. I have my Anita Baker playlist. I have my playlist that has Anastasia's post 2015 music. So whatever your playlist is, whether it's a playlist of strength, whether it's a playlist of emotions, whether it's a playlist of anger, sadness, frustration, irritation, whatever your playlist is, as long as you're comfortable with it, share it. Music has been one of the most... Actually, music has been my lover. Music has been my safety net. Music has been my safe space. Music has been my therapist. Music has been... Music and movies have been... They've meant more to me than anything I could ever have imagined. Even Love and Basketball doesn't even capture how much music has really been a part of my life. Every song on any one of my playlists current or former, even my tapes, has a significant meaning, triggers various emotions. And what I tell my clients is every emotion is beautiful in its own way. Yeah, it sucks feeling sad and lonely and irritated and frustrated. Yeah, it might suck to feel, but every one of those emotions is beautiful in its own way. Ask most Caribbeans. Anger is passion. Anger is beautiful. And so how I'll end this particular episode is the opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of hate isn't love. Hate is just a form of love, and love is just a form of hate. It just reminds us that we feel so intensely about something, someone. The opposite of love and hate is indifference. To not feel anything at all about something is the opposite of feeling something. Indifference is the opposite of almost every emotion. So yeah, we can be happy and we can also be sad, but they're not the opposites of each other. Sadness is a form of happiness, and happiness is a form of sadness. Excitement, loneliness, emptiness is not the same as indifference. The opposite of every emotion is indifference. And so if you're feeling any emotion, you're feeling what you're supposed to be feeling, which doesn't bring me comfort. I'm sure it's probably not going to bring you comfort. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're right where you're supposed to be. God never puts anything on our plate that we can't handle, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. But unlike all of those other sayings, what I'm trying to convey isn't to hide or to run away from these emotions. It's to embrace them. It's to feel them. It's to sit in that sadness, sit in that emptiness, not asking why. Fuck the why. The why doesn't matter. It's to sit in them. And yes, some days sitting in my emotions fucking sucks. But it's not about sitting in your emotions forever. Yeah, you can do some things to distract you. Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. I sit on my balcony. I listen to the city. But sometimes I identify what I'm experiencing. And I put on that playlist. And it's not for me to escape it. Music doesn't help us escape our emotions. It helps us to feel them. And so when Anita Baker starts singing Body and Soul, and I remember all of the breakups, all of the heartbreak, all of the pain, all of the humiliation. When Pink begins singing So What, I remember how strong I am. I remember that in my core, although there's a significant part of me that does not want to be here anymore. Not from a way of escaping, just there's nothing left for me. Pink reminds me that, yeah, I know I got some cat hair there. Pink reminds me that when I look back on my life, statistics and math tell me that I am a fucking god. Sometimes it fucking sucks to be strong. People keep telling us, just be strong, you're so strong, you're so this, you're so that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear how strong I am. I don't want to hear from your perspective. But Pink reminds me to remember what I have overcome. Miranda Lambert, on the other hand, baby, anger is a beautiful fucking emotion too. Gunpowder and lead, mama's broken heart, kerosene. Miranda Lambert reminds me that everything I've been through, I didn't fucking choose. People have let me fucking down over and over and over again. And I have every fucking right to be angry, upset, frustrated, irritated, pissed the fuck off. Because the people that were supposed to protect me never did their fucking job. So this particular episode it's about reminding ourselves of our power. And that power is our emotions. So, if you are on YouTube Music, at Romeo Powell 137, you all can see some of the playlists that I've put together. One of them is Te Odio, I hate you. One of them is Time for Me to Fly. Que me miran, Watch Me Shine. I Am My Soul, My Miranda, My Breathe, My Running, My 70s and 60s, My Eddie Santiago, My Exercise, My New Me, My Salsa, My Romantic, My Heather Headley, My Old School Reggaeton, My Tupac. I had a couple playlists. And so I'm going to encourage each of you to share your playlists, your art, your cuisines, your whatever form that is your go-to. That's what I want you to share. It's not about sharing your good times. Fuck that. Let's share our fucking pain. Let's share our anger. Let's share all the emotions that people have told us are bad, are wrong, are we shouldn't show, we shouldn't share. Fuck that. Let's fucking share it. And I'll make a promise. I'll continue to share mine. I'll continue to show up vulnerable, tearful, unfiltered. If you do the same. Because I'll be damned if I walk the rest of the time on this fucking earth alone. So even if we never fucking meet, I want you to know, estoy aquí por ti. I'm here for you. So I'm only gonna ask that you show up for me. So, do we have a deal? I do want to thank you all for showing up. And now, if you go on my playlist, there's a new song, or there's a song that I didn't fucking know existed until about 2 weeks ago. So you'll see Soulmate by Lizzo. Baby, Lizzo, if you ever see this video, Good as Hell was amazing. But Soulmate, baby, because I'm my own soulmate. So I want y'all to just play Soulmate. Pour yourself your favorite beverage. Orange juice, water, whiskey, tequila, guado, aguardiente, whatever the hell it is. I want you to put that song on, and I want you to raise a glass to yourself, to me, and to every single one of us that has navigated through this horrible, amazing, frustrating, sad, insecure shithole. Beautiful, wonderful, inmensamente triste vida. Here's to you all.